Making custom jewelry is extremely fascinating. I can try to verbally explain the process, and I give behind-the-scene tours, but you probably won't walk away really understanding and appreciating what all's involved. It normally takes about 2 months to create a piece from scratch, so a video seemed like the only way to show all the steps from start to finish. The first step is to come up with an idea. This customer wanted pendants made using the logo she created for her boyfriend during his bout with cancer. Once a particular design has been chosen, the model is created on a computer. Basic lines and curves create silhouettes, and these are given height so the piece becomes three-dimensional. The symbols were traced, and the orange shapes became cutters to make grooves. The powerful program can make a photorealistic preview the customer can approve. From CAD, the computer files transferred over to a 3D printer. Several computer programs divide up the piece into tiny slices, about as thick as a human hair. The platform rises and lowers into a pool of special resin that solidifies when exposed to UV light. A laser in the base of the unit shoots up at the platform through a window. The platform almost bottoms out when it lowers, but it leaves a tiny gap. The laser runs back and forth until it's burned the first layer. The platform rises out of the resin and descends again, stopping barely higher than it did before. After this is repeated nearly 800 times, we have our model. The growing process usually takes anywhere from 8 hours to 3 days. The stalactites are carefully scraped off the platform into whiskey to eat off the excess resin. After air drying for 45 minutes, they're placed into a UV oven for 12 minutes to totally cure. The hardened patterns are attached by wax to a rubber base. A 2-part liquid called investment, similar to plaster of Paris, is painted into all the tiny crevices and eventually poured into the cylinder. Once the liquid turns hard, the rubber base is peeled off and the cylinder is placed into a furnace. The resin burns out, leaving a hollow cavity. The cylinder is laid down horizontally in an arm, wound up by an incredibly tight spring. The metal to be used is melted in a crucible. The arm is released and centrifugal force slings the molten metal into the cavity. The arm finally comes to a complete standstill after about 10 minutes. The casting is quenched into cold water and the investment's busted out. Now we have a workable piece of metal, but it's still a long way from looking shiny and new. The raw castings appear dull because they have microscopic bumps all over their surfaces. These are smoothed by bench lathes and dental handpieces, turning all sorts of discs, wheels, and brushes. Beginning with coarse tools and ending with the smoothest, all the high points are taken down. To remove the rouge and dust, the piece is submerged into an ultrasonic cleaner that sends harsh vibrations through hot, soapy water. Usually the jewelry is cleaned in about 5 minutes, but sometimes it needs to be blasted with steam. For this particular piece, we thought a dull finish looked best. We blackened the grooves and soldered a simple O-ring through the top for a necklace. Feel free to check out more of my work at jewelryfromscratch.com.